You know, they say, don't they, that, well, celebrations, family events, that sort of thing is a real time for getting together and making sure, of course, that you, well, bond, get on, all that sort of stuff. As we know, this coming weekend, literally hours away now, Trooping the Colour, the official birthday of His Majesty the King. Now, for those that don't know, of course, who don't live in the United Kingdom, yes, the monarch has 2 birthdays. And this really dates back a long, long time now. This was simply because in the original monarch's time, the birthday was considered to be, well, you couldn't have a parade because it wasn't in the height of summer. So in the height of summer, you know, what you hope to do is have, well, better weather, which is what we're all hoping for. And then that splendid parade takes place. Now, Trooping the Colour is normally a sort of yearly event where everybody looks towards the Buckingham Palace balcony to see who's in and who's out. Famously, you know, a couple of years back now, this was the route, of course, of the slimmed down monarchy, you know. Some people say they should have slimmed it down many years ago, but what we saw was a lot less. And this was really the big talking point. Now, of course, as we know, well, the 2 errant people over in the land of Montecito, I kid you not, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and his wife, cable TV actress Meghan Markle, well, one of them truly does want to attend. This is the latest news as ever. Let me explain. Morning, chums. Lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nice to have your company. Just sat here in this wonderful beer garden. They're nice, aren't they? Yes. Well, I know I'm not drinking a beer. No. As many of you know who watch this show on a regular basis, I just drink minerals and stuff. I've got a lovely tonic water here. Can you see it? Yes. No lemon though. Cutbacks. Cost of living crisis. I did mention lemon, but they look blank, you know. You think, yeah, something else have managed to take away, but charge full price for. There's a lemon behind the bar. Maybe they just pass it round, we look at it, but it never gets in the drinks, you know what I mean? But on a serious note, it's nice to have just, you know, sit out in the air and just, yes, think about things that are going on. That's exactly what Prince Harry's doing. According to a source, you see, when Harry came over to England for the security meeting, do you remember that? What was interesting was he then, as we all know, went and sat down with the BBC, and with the BBC he moaned about, you know, the problems that he had and that he wanted to see his father and he wanted to, you know, reach out and make amends and all this. This is after all of the bad things that he and his wife had done. You can't just blame Meghan Markle. This is the thing, you know, people blame her, but there are 2 of them. And they're both as bad, in my opinion, egging each other on. Now, she, of course, some people might say is a complete instigator, talks about empathy, kindness, and when she's cooking, she likes people to think that, you know, she's thinking of them. A little bit more frightening if she's dicing kidneys, you get the picture. But on this particular instance, she's managed to cut out her father, cut out her family from attending her own royal wedding. But, well, she's empathetic, kind, sharing. According to a very good source, and this is an excellent source, and many of you will know who I'm speaking about, Harry thought this would be the perfect opportunity for him and his father to be seen together in some kind of bonding form. What better, given the fact that His Majesty the King will not be on horseback for the parade that will be taken, of course, by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales, Prince William. Catherine will be there, no doubt looking great, and the idea really was that Harry would return alone, even perhaps dangling 1 or 2 of the children. One might say just 1. Naturally, no, 1 would need to be kept at home. You never know. Meghan might fancy learning a new dance. Whoever knows. But on a more serious note, that was the objective put forward. That was the idea. And Harry discussed this in his week-long stint here. But he couldn't get that meeting. You know, he simply couldn't get that meeting. And then, making sure he sealed it off for good, well, he then went on the BBC and, as we know, basically said his father could have solved his security problems at the snap of a finger, changing his mind again. Everybody knows the king can't do this. It's not up to him. Years ago, those sort of people would have been incredibly powerful. Royals, you know, Henry VIII, Elizabeth I, they could command things. Now it has to be an act of parliament, and that was done. And bottom line is, Harry couldn't get the security. But, and this is the interesting bit, he still would have considered, get this, returning for a very public reunion between him and his father as a surprise guest popping out on the balcony at Buckingham Palace. Now, whose idea do you think that truly was? Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.